Thank you. Florida for the win. Florida for the win.
I mean, Florida needs wins, so
It was raining earlier, so Florida also, it was raining earlier. I like they were both in a shade of green.
yeah, I'm a green girl.
My sister was like, "You finna record a podcast? What your shirt got on it?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's green." Asking me questions I don't know the answer to. Look, I'm making this do.
I mean, look,
Y'all got me over here. I wasn't supposed to be here right now, so yeah, this was already scheduled. So we got to make it do what it do.
like I gotta figure it out. Whatever I got is what I got.
Right. Well, my oldest niece's birthday was earlier this week. Her birthday dinner
Mhm.
is tonight, and originally the recording time didn't matter because I was gonna finish and then just drive here. But then my
Mhm.
youngest niece, her sister, had volleyball this morning and was like, "Tanti, are you coming to my volleyball game?" I stay an hour and a half from my sister. So it was no go to the volleyball game, come back home.
Come
With these
back,
gas
go.
prices? Absolutely not.
No, I just made a post about this, about gas prices, and I was like, I don't know what it is in Florida, but at Michigan, it's at $5.
Oh no, we were at 439 and I got gas yesterday and I made a post in my stories at the pump like $52 for gas in my car? Mind you,
Like, this
I
is
don't know if y'all have 7-Elevens up there, but 7-Eleven has been doing this thing, like where you can get like prices off the gallon. So like I paid $4 a gallon, but it was really 439. But I had like coupons that saved 39 cents a gallon, and I spent
mhm.
$52. And I just got gas like 5 days ago. Like why do I need gas again? Why
I
is it $52?
Oh my gosh, I have a Jeep Wrangler. Luckily, I have a 4xe, so I get a little bit of the hybrid function from
Mhm.
it, but I put gas in my car yesterday, and it was $60, and I was like, "Who is doing this?"
Who
And
do we need to talk to?
I drive 40 minutes just to get to work. Not like this office, like my other job, just to get to work, and then I have to drive 40 minutes ba
But how many miles? Because I mean, I drive like an hour, but it's only like 20 miles each way.
probably about 30 to 40 miles.
Okay. Mine is traffic. I might say mine is like 20, I think it's like
Oh, yeah,
exactly
no.
1 mile
Mine's
because the gas station is halfway between work and home, and the gas station is like 10 miles away.
Oh, I'm a Costco gas station girl now.
My
They
sister
got me.
is, and I used to be Sam's, but there's not a Sam's close to me, and I can't be going out of the way to get gas to save money on the gas. So
I do go a little bit out of my way. I mean, there's some times where it's like it's never on my way when I'm going to work, and that's the annoying part. But when I'm around other things, like there's a
mhm.
Sam's that's like 10 minutes away from here, or if I'm a Costco. If I'm at my mom's house, there's a Costco that's literally like I hop on the freeway, leave my mom's house, hop off the freeway, get on Costco from there, hop back on the freeway. So there's some that are and there's some that I do have to drive a little bit away, but like I paid $60 at Costco. I don't wanna know. And
Right,
that was still 30 cents cheaper
right.
than
Like I paid 52, and that was me saving 39 cents a gallon. So I literally paid 4 on the head. It was 439 at the pump.
yeah.
So it better.
Who's doing this?
Donald, is this you? Because this is it. I didn't vote for you in the first place. But if I did, this ain't what you ran on.
It's I mean, what he ran on was a whole bunch of lies to begin with.
Well, I mean, I would say we all know that, but clearly we all don't, or he wouldn't have won.
Clearly, we all
So
don't, not
there's
because a
that.
lot of people are feeling really bamboozled, and I'm like, "You know what? My feeling about this has been my feeling about this from the beginning, and I've said this before. I don't understand why we don't listen to Black women. A Black woman literally told you exactly what was gonna happen, verbatim, and everything that she said was gonna happen is happening, and we're all like, 'Oh my gosh, why is this happening?' And I'm like, she warned you guys specifically chose not to listen to a highly educated, well, um, qualified
Right.
Black woman tell you what this not educated, not qualified white male was gonna do, and you were all like, "Donald never would. He'd never do that. Look." But he did, didn't he?
And you even turned on your friends, like you and Elon, not friends. Like I just can't.
That was like that was like the whole, like, but the interesting thing, that was the thing of the campaign, right? Like, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, Elon Musk is this brilliant genius is on his side," and
Yeah. Yeah.
Now look at us. And you know what? The thing I also noticed, Sprint Airlines is shut down.
I saw that this morning, and I'm like,
Or
"Wait a minute."
Spirit. I said Sprint.
Spirit,
Spirit.
yeah.
Spirit.
I knew it. I went with you.
Yeah.
But, I saw that this morning, and I'm like, "Wait a minute," because I saw the people wake up to hundreds of, like, stranded flights canceled, and then I saw something from, like, I think it was a CEO or somebody was then talking about it. I'm like, "Wait, so, like, just overnight, y'all didn't tell them people, 'We gonna get you here, but we not gonna get you home?'" Like, you
Think I saw like something hinting to something maybe happening, maybe like around last night. So probably around when people were like, flights were starting to get canceled and they're like, what's going on? And then I also woke up this morning and although it's not healthy, I run a business where social media is a high aspect of it. So I check social media. One of the first things that I do because that's my work.
Right.
Um, and I saw that and I was like, "That's" I literally yelled to my dad, like, "This is insane. Also, how am I going to fly anywhere now?
Yeah.
How am
I
I getting anywhere?"
I I'm just like, "But, like, you didn't tell the people like, when I checked into my flight with the 24-hour confirmation, like, you weren't like, you shouldn't have let me check in because you knew that this one go like, did I report to work as a pilot and you like, "Nah, man, ain't no flights for you. Matter of fact, don't even know why you," like, I've so many questions.
There's no more flights, so people are stranded, right? Now they have to, what, figure out how to get to where they need to go, probably paying more now,
Mhm.
unless Spirit is gonna refund them, but even if Spirit does refund them,
When?
which they
It's not
actually
gonna be
they're
in 24 hours.
I think they're legally required to
I
do
think
so.
they are, but that doesn't mean it's gonna be like, if you don't have money to buy another flight and you need this refund to buy your next flight, that doesn't help you.
Right, so now you're stranded, so you're probably calling everybody like, "I just wanna go home. How do I get there?" And then on top of that, all of the people who thought they were going to work today and this is for the record, at the time we're recording this is the 2nd of the month. So, like, their whole month is now screwed. Like, some people unfortunately have to wait to the late payment later on halfway through the, month to make their rent. They're not making that now. Phone bills, car notes,
Life.
babies. Yeah. All of a sudden, you just decided that none of that mattered.
Yeah.
And from a business, I've had that happen to me before with someone that I worked for. And from her business aspect, I understood it a little bit. Like, what we probably didn't see was Spirit really actually trying to like fight to stay alive. But the problem is that they have like this fear, like these businesses, they have this fear that if they are open and they're honest, people are going to leave anyways, and then they're going to be screwed regardless. But you're screwed regardless. So the least you could have done was be open and honest. And if
Right.
you lost pilots and if you lost people, then that is what it is. But at the end of the day, you still are losing all of these things. You're still losing your business and you're going to be looked down at in the business world for a really long time because of how you handle this.
Because this was my understanding, limited, was that they had applied for a bailout. The bailout was denied, hence them now having to close because they don't have the money, which meant
Mhm.
even the application for bailout part, like, I don't know, legally, like, maybe that's where the honesty comes in. Like, hey, we're in trouble. Here's what we're doing to get out of it, to
Right.
rectify, to fill in the blank, et cetera, et cetera. Like, maybe that's where the honesty part comes into play of this is what we're trying to do to fix it. We'll keep you posted as we know.
I mean, just a simple like shit heads up would be nice every once in a while, don't you think?
Yeah. Because I mean, even if, like you say, even if people leave, I doubt they were gonna people who left or who leave, I don't think just wake up and quit. They have to have another opportunity. So they will be applying and,
But it's also I mean, like, there's not like there's a lot of opportunities out there. It's not like for the record, when we talk about our fuel prices going up, that also means that the fuel prices for these
exactly,
airlines
are going
are
up.
going up.
Bigger volume, which is why people are talking about like ticket prices are going up because the ticket gotta pay for the gas.
It's just like this crazy cycle that we're in now that is just like, how do we resend? How do we reverse this because I didn't sign up to live like this.
Mm-mm. When I was a kid and I said I wanted to be an adult, this isn't the adulthood I thought I
This
was
wasn't
signing
it.
up for.
I was looking at what adults look like when I was a kid, and
Mhm.
they had it
It wasn't
way
this.
I had a conversation with my mom because I love her to death. She's the sweetest, most caring person, but also she sometimes has she wants to understand. And so
Mhm.
her way of understanding is to put herself in our shoes, like me and my brother. And so while we're talking about how hard it is to get hired right now, she's like, "It was hard for me too." And I'm like, "I think it was a different I think it was a different type of hard, mom." And she's like, "No, no, I mean when you didn't have a degree, it was hard to get a job." I was like, "Hard, but not impossible."
Impossible. You're like, with a degree, hard. Without a degree, impossible.
I have an associate's, right? I cannot there's nothing. Everybody wants and I'm talking about, like, entry-level positions where an associate's should be beneficial, bachelor with 5 years experience. And you're like, "What?
Yeah.
This is crazy." So then you want me to go back to school, but then how I'm gonna afford the school? I gotta take loans out. It just 'cause here's the thing, an associate's you can get for free,
Mhm.
technically. 'Cause an associate's, a lot of community colleges will pay most of your, tuition or whatever if you live local, and you get, grants from the government that you don't have to pay back and, financial aid that you don't have to pay back, and then those help pay for your books. But after you get from associates, you don't get that same. So once again, they're creating a system where you have to spend money specifically to the government to be able to make money.
It started raining. We'll make it'll do it
No, I
again.
was like, I looked out there and I was like, "Huh,
Yeah.
you can see the rain."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay. All right, this is the perfect time to take a break, launch our beautiful opening, and then get to talk a little bit more about you. So let's go." I'm dead. Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Basically Unbothered. Today I am joined by Coach Lee.
Hey,
Hello.
hey,
Do you
hey.
wanna tell them a little bit more about you, who you are, what you do, everything like that?
Yes, I am Coach Lee, criminal defense attorney by day, productivity and accountability coach, like I like to say throughout. I'm all about helping women, especially, basically create a plan. Create a plan that works for your life, that works for your business, that works for your career. A plan that works even when life gets busy because as we was talking about, life can get real ghetto. This isn't the adulthood we signed up for, and, we need
Mhm,
them to have a plan to be able to, work-life balance this thing, have fun, live life, do the things. And the
mhm.
things can be so many different things, and to be able to do this, like, even when life gets busy, even when it gets crazy, even it gets hectic, like, what does showing up look like and mean in those different times? So, I'm just here to help you make a plan that's gonna work for your life.
How did you go from, you said you were a criminal defense
Mhm.
attorney?
Still
How
am.
do you how did you go from criminal
Defense.
defense attorney, wow, at day to, realistic productivity coach at night? How did that kind of happen for you?
By accident, because people kept telling me for years, like, "You're motivating, you're encouraging, you should be a life coach." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a full-time attorney over here. Who's got time for that?" And then, let's fast forward to March of 2020. We all know what happened.
Mhm,
And then thankfully I didn't lose my job, but we got sent home. Like, yes, people were still getting arrested, but the volume of people getting arrested isn't necessarily as many. And so we got sent home. And so that doesn't mean we still had a job. We still were working, but social distance, all the things. So we basically started working remote and we just had to come into the office like once a day. And I immediately got bored because the reason our jobs take so much time half of the time is other people, the distractions that are our coworkers. And so pretty much they were like, "We don't care, when you work, because we understand now people are teaching, becoming teachers and working. We don't care what time you work, like just as long as you get your work done." And so I'm
mhm.
naturally a morning person. So pretty much every day by 12 o'clock, I was like, all right, I've done 8 hours of work because I've had no distractions. I've been locked in and focused. Like I pretty much stayed on my same routine. And so I'm like, I've read books, I've listened to podcasts, I've watched TV, I'm doing puzzles. Like, what else can I do? And
Mm,
so the thoughts of people saying, "You're motivating, you're encouraging, you should be a life coach," started coming back to me, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm the person, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right." And no offense to anyone who doesn't do this, I'm not saying you're doing it wrong, but probably the attorney in me is like, "I need the LLC, I need the website, I need the certification." So, like, I started looking for coaching programs and all of that, and then when I found a program that I ultimately went through, I made it halfway through the first video, which was all of 3 to 5 minutes, and I was like, "Oh, I see when people say this. I have been doing this. Got it." But then I think the funny correlation is, like, as a defense attorney, and specifically, like, I'm at the public defender's office, so I'm a government attorney. Like, I don't choose my clients. I
mm-mm,
don't choose the crime that they allegedly committed. I don't choose that. And I guess in the same way when it comes to coaching, I don't choose my clients. Like, yes, we can do the consult and we can say, like, no, we're maybe not a good fit to work together. But like, I don't choose what your struggle is when it comes to time management, productivity, work-life balance. So I'm having to take these lemons that are given to me in both aspects of my life, work and business, and we got to make lemonade. Like, what's the best outcome we can get out of this? And so, in a sense, they actually are similar in
mhm.
that regard.
So I'm more fascinated with true crime. I love true crime. I love criminal psychology. Right now I'm binging Criminal Minds.
Mm,
I never watched it a day in my life, and it's always on my list. And then I'm getting ready to write what I'm calling like a fictional true crime book.
hmm
So it's going to be written like a true crime book, or a sibling or a parent talks about their whatever, but it's going to be fiction. And I was like, I really want to just dive into this world and be like in that mindset. You got a lot going on around
Is that
you.
dad?
Hello.
I figured you were doing something. I figured you were gonna say, "Who is this man over here bothering you?" How you doing, sweetheart?
Hello.
I'm doing great. No, I can just see her, like her reactions, because I can't see anything around her, but like you can see her facial reaction. And like I've done it before. I've done it in like a panel, an
hmm
online panel, and like I was around people and they were distracting me, and I'm like smiling, like I'm focusing.
Well, mind you, my sister's trying to tell him that I'm on something, and he's not listening. So that's why I'm, like, trying to hit mute in case he says something, but he's like, "No, no, no, I'm gonna just come all the way out here."
Yeah, that's the best way. But yeah, so I just love it. So like lawyers always fascinate me. It's funny because I've also been told that I'm motivational and I don't get it at all. I don't.
Me, I'm like, "I'm just living." I wasn't trying to be, like, not in a negative way, but, like, I'm just living life. Like,
Yeah.
I thought I was doing anything extraordinary.
I also have a certification as a holistic life coach, or
Mhm.
a certificate, I like to say, because there's a different, I don't know, in my mind, there's a difference between holding a certificate and having a certification.
Okay.
I don't know why. Don't ask me. I often devalue my accomplishments. This is a me thing. Also, I don't want someone to be like, "Well, you just got that certification off of Udemy or whatever. It's not real." And I'm like,
I took the class, didn't I?
I did take the class. And it wasn't just like a 1 hour sit there. Class was very involved. Um, but because in the same which I always wanted to, but then I was also had a business. And I was like, oh, this is so much work. People don't think about how much work it takes in the like behind the scenes to be a coach. It's a lot of work,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of talking on screen so much, and talking about things, and then trying to convince people like, hey, I can help you live your life better. And I think another thing is that I always feel not confident in that area.
Mhm.
Like, what if I tell somebody this and then all of a sudden
Their life goes to crap, and they're
their
like,
life
"I
goes to
did
crap,
what you
and then
told
I'm
me
gonna
to
be
do."
like, mm. But one of the things that I've learned recently kind of in my life is that I need to do things. Now, some people say, just do it, right? There's some things I can just do, but for me to feel like really confident in it, it needs
Mhm.
to be something that I do behind the scenes for a long time before I bring it to the foreground. So
Same.
like I can feel like the expert, you know? I don't ever want to like mislead someone.
Yeah, and I agree. Me coaching was definitely a behind the scenes of, like, pretty much March 2020 it started, and then I launched and made my LLC official January 1st, 2021. So that was very
Mhm.
much a behind the scenes thing. But then there are other pivots that I make that I do in real time, and I guess you could say doing messy. Like I'm doing it, but because of having this coaching platform, I'm now telling you about it in real time so you can follow the journey or see what I'm learning and see how I'm adjusting, see how I'm pivoting in the midst of it.
Yeah. But I think it's so cool mixing the two. Like I said, my parents were like, "You argue so," and this is what I think this is my personal opinion. People think that like being a lawyer is just debating and arguing all the time.
Wish it would actually make my job so much easier. That's not once a week if I'm lucky.
Mhm.
I argue more with my clients than I do opposing counsel.
You're like, "I'm making more good points when people can't see it happen."
Well, no, me arguing with my clients is normally because they don't wanna hear what I have to say. Like, you working for them, like, I'm like, "Right, my job is to tell you the good and the bad." I can't I'm sorry right now we have a lot of bad that we have to get through to get to the good, but, so, yeah, my most of my fighting is with my clients.
But I imagine that like, 'cause you said you work as like a public defender.
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of the clients that you have in general are really resistant in the first place because this isn't something that they like sought out. This is like a punishment potentially for an action.
I think it depends. Like
Yeah.
some like you truly only have bad news right now. You're like, you confess, you're on video, you're this, you're this, you're this, and you're like, I want probation, and you're like, everything is kind of stacked against us. Or
Mhm.
then I have the flip side of 'cause like right now I do mostly like the homicide, so mostly murder cases. So then you're like, well, this is my first offense. Right. But allegedly you went big. Your first crime was a murder. Like we're not getting probation off of that, honey. I'm sorry.
I'm no, that is hilarious. I'm so sorry.
And like before this, I was doing like sex offenses and stuff. So similar.
Oh.
Like, you know, and in this regard, I do get them in this part. Because sometimes for sex offenses, you're getting more time in prison than people who actually are charged with murder.
Mhm.
Because you're like,
Because the way that the perception is and
exactly. And you're like, yeah. And so I get it. I'm not saying that one's right or one's wrong, but even the like, well, so and so, like, he killed somebody and got 10 years. Why they offering me 30? And I'm like, I understand. I get you. So yeah, so no, they didn't necessarily choose it.
yeah,
Um,
no.
yeah.
No, I'm just still thinking of like, this is my first time, and it's like, yeah, but like you didn't just steal bubble gum from the
Right. And
store.
I'm like, yeah, but you went big, honey.
You
You
kind
went
of
big.
went, you kind of went almost the biggest that you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next step was just like a serial killer, and don't
Right.
aspire to achieve that. So
Please,
that
no,
is
please.
hilarious. All right, we're gonna hop off of that and pop into our pop culture roundup. Looking for your next favorite author, your next obsession, or just a room full of people who get it? Then you need to be at the Pages Against the Patriarchy event on June 27th. This is a virtual event featuring 20 incredible authors coming together for a day of books, conversation, community, and stories that challenge the world around us. Whether you love romance, fantasy, sci-fi, indie gems, or books that leave you staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., there's going to be something for you. Come hang out with the passionate readers, discover new authors, and celebrate storytelling that takes up space unapologetically. Again, that's Pages Against the Patriarchy, happening virtually on June 27th, featuring 20 authors. For more information, head to pagesagainstthepatriarchy.com. Bring your TBR list. It's about to get reckless. The first conversation that we have today is the South Carolina State, the college controversy. Have you heard about this?
Where they basically said we're not going to graduation if she's speaking.
Yeah. So as I do most things, because again, I said a lot of my life and business is on social media. Um, I saw the protest first, or I
Mhm.
saw the sit-in first. That was the first thing that I saw. And I love the way that the speaker at this sit-in was speaking, because she was so eloquent, and she was saying like, no, you have a point. And I think that that is an argument or a debate. It is always important to be like, oh, your points are valid, because if you can validate someone's point, and like you do have some foot to stand on, and then show them all the ways that they're still wrong, to
Mhm.
me personally, it looks better. This is me. I mean, I validate people's points all the time, like, oh yeah, you have a point. But if you look at it from this way, actually, your point is only, looking at this one small view when we're looking at a bigger picture. So I love the way that she was speaking. And then almost the immediate next video I saw, and for those who don't know, the school had asked Lieutenant Pamela Evitt, who was running for governor, I believe,
Yeah.
to be the speaker. And the students protested because I believe she has very conservative beliefs. She said some things in her past, and South Carolina state is predominantly, it looks from what I saw, like predominantly Black,
Yeah.
to my understanding.
Like, I don't
And
think it was
so
a HBCU, but it was giving those vibes
it
almost.
was it was 100% giving those vibes. Let's check, because I don't think any like state college is.
I think in the past, she specifically had made comments in regards to HBCUs specifically.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Oh, it is.
oh, it is
Uh,
HBCU?
as South Carolina's only public historically Black college and
Well, there we
university.
go.
Answer. So, it was, first of all, I don't, this is my opinion about I didn't go to HBCUs. They weren't for me. That's a lie. I went to HBCU for a semester. I loved it. My mom is born and raised in St. Thomas. And
You
St.
guys are
Thomas has
British.
English. We're still American.
Okay. So U.S. Virgin Islands. Because I know there's two
Yes,
sides of St.
there's
Thomas, the
2,
U.S.
yeah.
and yeah.
So the US Virgin Islands, so there is a HBCU called UVI. It was actually on, like, College Hill when that was a thing.
Oh, wow.
If I'm gonna go to HBCU, I'm going to go to one on an island. Let me just clarify that for everyone. It was amazing. The architecture was amazing, and the fact that you could look out of your classroom and see the ocean is just a benefit,
Spring
personally.
break, you don't have to go anywhere. You live on spring break.
You're already there. And not for me, because I was mid to late 20s when I went there, but you can drink at 18. I see no downsides personally. I mean, living on an island is rough. I lived on an island for a year, but I see no downsides. I don't understand why, if I were a non-person of color, I would never feel comfortable talking to a group that is basically predominantly a completely different race than me and motivating them. I can't motivate you. Because one of the things about, different from like coaching is it's a one-on-one experience. But one of the things that is important about HBCUs is being around a community
Mhm.
of people who look like you, and feeling that connectedness in this. And so I don't even know what was in their mind. And the dean is a Black male.
Mhm.
I don't even know what was on his mind when he thought that a white woman could come talk at a predominantly Black school.
I think it's the race part specifically, because I believe when I was looking at it, like, Biden had previously spoke there. So,
Oh, but
but
see,
I
that's
think
different. That's a president. Like, at that point.
I don't I don't remember if he was president at the time, but
Okay.
I think it's what the person stands for more than anything. Because, like, for example, we can go back, Bill Clinton, or other, like, I think it's more so this person has specifically stood against basically what your organization stands for. Why would you want that to be the person who's motivated the next generation?
Yeah. And so I listened to some of it, and they were talking about and how the dean thought that she represented business-wise things and skills and tools that the dean said aligned with the college. And I was like, cool, great, but we're in a moral war right now. Like, I want it to be clear. We are currently in a moral war, and morality means more to us than it probably has in a really long time. Like, what you say, what you do really truly affects the way that people look at you. And that goes further into when this protest was happening, because the protest is happening and she's trying to save face. And sorry, her name is she's lieutenant governor. She's trying to save face, and she ends up referring to the students who are peacefully protesting as a mob. Dios míos, like I feel like they don't.
They
She's
don't get
not
it.
winning that election. She literally just signed her, like, she's not winning that election now. You referred to people, Black people who are peacefully protesting as a mob. You would have never used that choice of word if it was a different group of people. And again, last time I checked, we were a country that was built on peaceful protest.
I mean, allegedly.
Allegedly. Who knows? But it was still like that part was the part that I was, because someone mashed her speaking and her saying, "I'm not backing down to this mob of people," with them protesting. And I cannot imagine the feeling of those students. These students who are graduating from college, some may be doing it for the first time in their families, like anybody, period. Anybody who's graduating from college is accomplishing something that a lot of people can't do, including myself. Because they're graduating with bachelors and I got my associates. And I'm not saying I can't get my bachelor's. I'm just saying that I have no
Right.
desire. There's no desire currently. But imagine, like, you've done it. You finished it all and you're just so excited, and not only do you learn that this is going to be the person that's supposed to, like, give you this pat on the back, this push on the butt, like, get out there, kid. But then she calls you like, I would feel so embarrassed isn't the word, but, like, I just think about my cheeks just turning so red from just, like, how could they? How is this possible, you know?
Yeah, it's like the audacity level is so high.
Mhm. As I like to call it, the caucasity.
I was gonna say that, but I want to respect your platform.
No, no. I'll do it for you. The caucasity. Don't worry, we also have the bloodacity, because sometimes the Black audacity is also real.
Okay. Okay.
I'm an equal opportunity.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I was just that just threw me for a loop. I just imagine. But let's talk about our next topic. Let's get into something that's a little bit happier, not as heavy. The Devil Wear Prada 2 is now out. I don't know.
So I haven't
Have you seen
seen
the
the
first one?
show. I feel like yes, but I don't
It
remember.
So the first movie came out, I think, 20 years ago,
What
which
happened
is,
then?
like, insane. Also makes me feel really old. So thank everybody
Right.
for
I'm like, I
putting that
feel
in my
like
head.
obviously I've heard about it. I
Mhm.
feel like I've seen it, but I don't know. I don't know if you're like this. Like you like, I feel like I should know this thing. Like I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I've seen it, but all the things that I've seen since then, like unless it's
Mhm.
on plan for me to be like, remember that or don't. There's so many things that we like encounter that I'm just like, I recognize that. I know about that. Do I remember it? I don't know. So I feel like I saw the first one, but I cannot confirm or deny that with 100% certainty.
There's something about it that really I have a lot of dreams. I have so many dreams and I have so many passions. High-end fashion is not one of my passions, but I love fashion. I love fashion. Me and my mom watch Project Runway together. In fact, we're binge watching through all the old seasons.
Wow.
I just love it. I love the creativity of it. I love the concepts and how they turn these ideas into things. I think clothes are beautiful. One of my big, big goals in life is to go to the Met Gala. If I can go to the Met Gala, I know I've won in life. Like, that's how I know that I've won in life.
Yeah, I don't care about fashion. I'm like hearing you say that. I'm like, oh, that's nice. And I'm like, no desire. Not
Like,
even a
no desire.
no.
But that's probably why you don't remember, because the movie's all about fashion.
And I
It's all
know like I
about
was seeing people kind of like even with Michael Jackson coming out, I was seeing people who were dressing up for like screenings of the Devil Wears Prada, like putting on their red and their black and making it all sophisticated and stuff. So I
Mhm.
had seen quite a bit of that on social media. But like I honestly can't tell you the last time I've been actually I can as I go to say it. I was gonna say I can't tell you the last time I've been to the movie theater. We went for church for our church book club. One of the books that we read we read a mix of books. We read The Housemaid, and so when that came out in theaters, we went to go see that, for a book club. So, I had to
I
pause. I was like,
avoided
"I can't think of," and then I was like, "No, I actually didn't." But before that, I can tell you the last time I've been to the movie theater.
so excited for that movie to come out, although I am not a Frida McFadden fan.
Really?
No.
Is
No.
it but I know you were saying, like, you were rewatching, like, Criminal Minds, so you like so but are you into
No,
psychological thrillers?
I love murder mysteries, I
Okay.
love thrillers, I love all those kind of books. I don't like scary books, but I love, like, like, ones where your brain has to twist and
Mhm.
turn and think or whatever, and I've read some complicated, like, really twisty ones that I at the end of it, I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, this is the most fantastic thing I've ever read." Freida McFadden's, in comparison, is very elementary.
Mm.
And her writing in comparison is also kind of, I mean, it's good because her writing is such a good book for people who are just starting out to read. I wanna give her, like, that credit. Like, if you are just starting out reading, and that is usually who she attracts, honestly. I know a lot of
I
people.
guess I never thought about it like, I read because I enjoy reading, but reading for
Mhm.
me is an escape, so I don't necessarily want to have to think when I'm reading. I like a book that gives me twists and turns, but the whole time I'm thinking if it's like one of those TV shows where I went to the bathroom while it was still on instead of waiting for a commercial, and now I have no idea what happened in them 2 minutes, then
Yep.
I don't like that type of stuff.
I mean, like, I can do both. I love an easy read, but when I'm reading a mystery, I wanna be analyzing kinda what's going on and being like, "Oh, is this gonna be the thing that," like, my annotations in books, like, not in any other book, but if I'm reading it on my Kindle, my annotations, like, digital ones, because 'cause I'm working really hard on being able to annotate in actual books. It's really hard for me, but I'm working on it. Um, but the housemaid twist, although it was like, "Oh, I never saw that coming," it was, to me, too much of, "Oh, I never saw that coming." That it didn't feel like there was, like, I don't feel like I could look back, and this is, to me, one of the important things in, like, that genre, is that when you look back or you read it again, you're like, "Holy crap, there were all these signs," and I feel like she leaves out that part.
Okay. Okay, I can give you that.
But I do wanna say that I think that what she is doing for women in reading is fantastic because she is creating a space where women really are enjoying reading. And whether I like her or not, that's not what I'm at. I just want more people to read. I think
Right.
that reading is how you become a better human being. So, but I did not, I wanted to see that movie so bad, and then Sydney Sweeney kept opening her mouth again and again and again, and so I haven't seen the movie.
What what about her talking caused you to not be able to see the movie?
It started with the jeans ad. That was really like, "Oh, okay. Maybe we could've, we could've," like, it was very reminiscent of Kylie Jenner's Pepsi ad, which I didn't think that there should have been that much controversy about it, but some things frustrate me more than other people, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But at least Kylie Jenner immediately came out and was like, "I'm so sorry. This was not the way that they pitched it to me. This is not how it happened. I will be more discerning with what I pick from now on." Sydney Sweeney was just like, "Yeah, I didn't ad." No matter how offensive people told her, whether she intended it to be or not, she never just said the simple, like, "I now understand that this could have been, a eugenics thing. I wasn't trying to do that. I was just trying to make a gene ad. I thought that it'd be really fun." Also, why do we have someone who has boobs but no ass making jeans? I don't know. But,
It's for people of similar stature.
okay, right, sure. And then So then, she keeps getting under hot water and hot water. I watched a TikTok of someone just making fun of, like, how her PR team just keeps pressing. And so, I don't know if you know this, but she was starring in a lot of big movies and they were flopping because of her. And then she did this GQ interview, and it was a video interview that I guess they also put in their magazine. And they're like, "Okay, we're going to address the elephant in the room." And then she goes, I did a jean ad. I really like jeans. I'm always in jeans. And at that point, I was like, I can't. All right.
Maybe her blonde was just blonding. Like
Her
it
blonde was blonding. But I don't know if you know this, so Euphoria is out now.
no.
Their new season of Euphoria is out, and Zendaya has already said that she refuses to do press with her, up until the point that Zendaya didn't even walk the red carpet with everybody else. She came in a different entrance to the movie premiere, left early. She was like, I know that she has some of her best acting moments in Euphoria, but Euphoria isn't the biggest thing that she's done.
Yeah.
Where for all the other girls, Euphoria is the biggest thing that they've done.
It's their launching pad.
Yeah. And so she's kind of like, you guys can have this moment. I'm just not going to do press with her. And if you pay attention, there's even like photo press, and there's one with Zendaya and everybody but Sydney Sweeney. So I think maybe, once the movie sits for a little bit, but so you've read the book, so you can tell me.
Yeah.
I've
I read
heard
all
that
of them.
they changed a
They
lot.
do. Well, like half of it is like
Mhm.
on point. And then, but at the point where they do make the change, that change has to play out, keep playing out. So
Mhm.
it's like they change one thing, and kind of like in life, you take one, you make one ripple, it's gonna cause a change. And being that you've read the book and the other books semi build off of the other ones a little bit. So I think at the time that I went to go see the movie, I don't remember if
Mhm.
I had read all 3 of the books or only like 2 of them. So
Mhm.
you could see like, okay, if you make another movie, clearly it's not going to be similar to this because this thread does drop off a little bit over here. And if you change this, it can't now be in movie 2 because it's already, though it exists in book 2, it's already gone in movie 1. So if you make a movie 2, it can't go there.
There's a book series that I read that they turned into a movie. It was Maze Runner. And they left out a very important thing. And this is why, guys, when you make movies, read the entire freaking series. Please and thank you. Producers, directors, executives, read the entire series first. Because
Consult with the author. How about that? If you don't want to read it,
they
the person who wrote it.
made this change. So in the first Maze Runner, the guy appears and then this girl appears and they have this weird kind of psychic connection where they can hear each other's thoughts. It doesn't seem like it's a big thing in book 1. It's a huge thing in book 2. Let me tell you. And in book 3, it's big. It's very important. And then so when I watched the second movie, which then kind of screwed up the whole timeline because you have to do that now because you took out a very important thing. So now everything changes. I understand exactly what you mean. Like everything shifts and you just can't get it back. But I am excited that people are dressing up to go to the movies again. It's like I'm in the anime community a lot, so like people go to cons and they go cosplay and everybody like turns their nose on it and I'm like, "Ooh, who's gonna break it to them that when they went to the Michael Jackson movie, they were just
They was doing
cosplaying as
cosplay.
like you're just cosplaying as Michael Jackson. And when you're going to The Devil Wears Prada 2, you're cosplaying as these people too. I just want you all to know. You can see how easy and fun it is to want to get into character. So I'm excited. I plan on seeing it. I was going to go see it today. And I was like, my Saturday is too stacked. And I also don't like going to the movies on Saturday. I would
They're
rather
really
go on
fair.
like a Tuesday.
Man,
Yeah. Like give me cheaper prices. No one's around. I love that for me.
whole theater to myself. I can switch seats if I want a better angle in the middle of the
I could
movie.
lay down. I could put all my food everywhere. Yeah. That would be my vibe. All right. Our last topic, talking about movies, but not necessarily about movie, is that Cynthia Erivo finishes another London marathon. And I'm just so happy for her. I know a lot of people don't like her anymore, but I'm just so happy for her. And everybody was, criticizing how thin she was getting, or how thin both Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo got. And then I'm like, you try making a movie for 5 years that is that intensive and then let me know, and then promote said movie and let me know how you feel. But then it also was this like, guys, she's literally a competitive athlete, because running a marathon is a competitive sport.
Very much.
I could never.
Same.
You would
No
catch
desire.
me mile 1, I'd be on the floor.
I'll give you a 5K. Maybe. Big if on the maybe, a 10K, but I
'Cause I'm
don't have a
in,
desire.
what is it, 26.2
26.2 for a
miles.
full.
26.2 miles? I gotta run
That's
nonstop?
that's we were talking about gas and mileage. Like that's more than my distance to work.
Right. Like, no, thank you. Find somebody else. Find someone else who's going to enjoy this, not me. But I love seeing people shine in other elements, and I like the reminding of that, like, they're people.
Mm-hmm.
We're judging these actors and these singers and all of these other things for what they do when they're in front of our faces or on screens or whatever. But there's a whole girl, she probably disappeared on the face of the earth to just do this marathon. And also, to be clear, while we're all fussing, she is still an actress. She's still acting. She had a Broadway thing that was going on as well, I believe, because there was a thing about how she quit the show because someone did something disrespectful or whatever. So she's still doing things while training for the marathon. I don't know if that's the most motivational thing to me, is when I see people who are, because that's a hobby. She's not getting anything from it. That's just
Right.
something that she does for herself, but she's still succeeding and excelling and challenging herself. And I have this thing about always wanting to be better, always trying to make myself better, not thinking that I need to be better,
Right.
but I love improving. I love adjusting. I've adjusted my wardrobe recently, and I mean, I actually am kind of proud of myself. You as a coach will get the like subtle joy that I have. So I am filing for bankruptcy. It's almost done.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm happy for it to almost be done. But obviously from there, I was like, I have to truly examine my financial decisions, because clearly they're not working. So I started budget enveloping, and everyone was like, you're not going to be able to keep up with this. Joke's on them. We're in May and I'm still doing it, and I still love it. It still gives me dopamine every time I put my money in my little envelopes. It makes me happy. But for the month of April, I saved up all of my cash tips, because they're not really that big. My credit card tips go on my check, but I saved up all of
Gotcha.
my cash tips for the entire month of April. Did not spend my cash tips at all, so that I could buy a couple new basic sets of clothes. This is one of them.
Okay.
So I'm feeling, because I had a surgery, and had a fibroid surgery.
Okay.
And since then, wearing jeans has just been like a non-negotiable. It hurts. And I'm like, why am I fighting this? Like, why am I trying to hurt my body because I want to wear these jeans? Just stupid. Why don't I just accept that I'm about to be the comfy girl? I mean, every once in a while I could put jeans on and be uncomfortable. I love that for me.
And maybe, in time, they won't be uncomfortable anymore. Like maybe it's just it's a season of I can't
Yeah.
wear these things.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it, is that I didn't spend a lot of money. I think the total money I spent was like $170. I saved about $170. I got this. I have 4 tank tops. I got 2 baby tees, 3 pairs of shorts, and a baggy sweatpants. And they're like just really good basics that I can wear with all the other clothes that I have up and down, and I'm comfortable, I'm cool. It was like, this is a good decision. But I got off topic about the Cynthia Revo, but I am still, I guess what I meant to say is, like, that's me improving. Like, that was me improving.
Yeah.
And I love seeing people all over improve and work on projects that they really love. And so seeing celebrities do something that's so not celebrity like, because it's not like she's running in this crowd, with massive bodyguards and everybody
Right.
surrounded. She's running in this crowd with everyday people who run the London Marathon. So like that part's cool to me. And apparently her time was pretty good. It was 3 hours, 21 minutes and 40 seconds. I don't know what that means because I don't run marathons.
Me either. it sounds good. 'Cause I mean, 26 to
26.
yeah.
Yeah,
No.
no. I would have walked that and you would have caught me 2 days later. Like, I'm gonna go stop at this pub real quick,
Mhm, mhm.
pitch a tent, and then I'll start doing it the rest of the
Yeah,
time tomorrow.
basically.
Yeah. All right. Hopping out of our pop culture roundup into our little petty or facts before we get into our main topic today, which is you. This did not plan this. Jumping back to our Sydney Sweeney conversation, Cameron Diaz claims she was hotter than Sydney Sweeney in her prime. Do you think that that is petty, or do you think that that is facts?
I think can it be both?
Yes.
I feel
Yeah.
like to her, it might be a fact. But we like, "Girl, why are you even saying that?" Like, we probably like, "That's petty," but she was like she probably I don't know. She might just feel like same way I like jeans. It's a fact. I like jeans. I'm prettier than her. And we like, but why you comparing?
Like, where's this
Did
coming
she
from?
ask for this? Was y'all how we got here?
Like, I don't understand.
Like in her head, it is truly probably a fact.
I
But
think
I think for me, when I'm like, but why? So that's where the petty part comes in. Cause like, who asked you? Why are we having this conversation? That's what makes it petty. Cause why are we talking about this?
why is this even I imagine that in internet chatter or in the celebrity chatter, some people were trying to compare. And I mean, they're two totally different people, like body-wise and everything, right? Cameron Diaz was just kind of this quirky, but like Cameron Diaz's beauty is almost like it takes you by surprise sometimes, right?
Mhm.
She originally like looks like an average, pretty girl, but then she like looks at you or smiles a certain way and your whole like body is like, "Oh, actually, you're gorgeous." And she was also like smaller in stature, and she played different people. Sydney Sweeney is very, as much as she's trying not to be, like, she did a biopic, which everybody was very upset about. Um, I, Up in arms. And it was, kind of fair because of her statements. And also Sydney Sweeney has a very big Trump alliance. We've all seen her throw the parties or whatever. And again, like I said, right now we care about morality a lot more
Yeah.
where we probably didn't care about it back then. But Sydney Sweeney always gives off Marilyn Monroe vibes to me. And in some of her press for the Housemaid, she actually wore similar dresses, which annoyed me just a bit because no one can be Marilyn Monroe.
Is that
Also,
fact or is that petty?
that's petty. That's actually, it's a little bit both. Nobody can be Marilyn Monroe because one of the beautiful things about Marilyn Monroe's characters that she always played is that she was smart and dumb at the same time. And the level of dumb that she played, it's really hard for her to also be like behind the scenes, low key kind of smart.
Mhm.
But I would say that Sydney Sweeney, unfortunately, if I were to classify her, would be more like the Marilyn Monroe of our time.
Okay.
If Sydney Sweeney allowed herself to be a little bit more liberal, she probably really like honestly, I don't mean this in a bad way because I think people should be who they are, whether we like them or not. But if she allowed herself to kind of break away from this conservative country kind of thing, kind of like Marilyn Monroe wanted to break away from the poverty image that she had and all of the terrible things that, happened to her. And she recreated herself, which is bad for the psyche, but like was great for a career. I think Sydney Sweeney could trample the like movie scene. She could be the next it girl. The problem is that she opens her mouth. That was mean and petty, but I said it. Some people some people should
Be
open their
seen
mouth.
and not heard.
Hmm?
Like we going back to childhood, you should be seen and not heard.
Yeah, like you and I don't mean this in a bad way because I'm so happy that women have progressed to where we are now where like our voices matter. But in fairness, sometimes silence is your best weapon. And not being silent after you created a whole controversy, but it's always like as much as we hated how they typecast and how they were really strict about women in Hollywood back then, that was terrible. There was a part of it that was smart.
Mm-hmm.
You think about Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter created this image for herself. I mean, part of it is actually who she is, so she's very lucky, right? But her whole brand changed when she started doing high blush and she started doing her hair a certain way and she leaned more into her funny, sarcastic songs that she was already doing in the first place. People just kind of weren't paying attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
But when she created this like sultry on my face, I look like I love men, but my music is actually saying the exact opposite thing. She created this beautiful image for herself that we're going to remember for a really long time. Like her PR team and
Mm-hmm.
her team in general, they did the damn thing. Sydney Sweeney needs that team. Fuck it. I need that team. I'll take the team myself. Sydney Sweeney don't want it. Give it to me. Sabrina, send me your team. I say that just because it is important. As much as you want to pretend like it's not, it is. And how you present yourself to everybody is important. I know that as an author, right? I know that as a business person. I know that I have 3 different channels of social media, right? So that what people are looking for on each channel, they're all still me.
Right.
But my petty takes, they usually go on my podcast, social media, because that's the petty part of me and that's what people are going to get that from.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Instagram that's solely for my holistic, lifestyle, the easy caring, the candle lights. No one's looking for that anywhere else. That's just a part of me that I get to share on somewhere else for if people are looking for that. And then my author part is me about my books and my life. And, any good social media manager will tell you this. Sydney Sweeney just has to figure out who her public facing
Persona.
appearances. Right. And I think that's the difference is Cameron Diaz had a public facing persona. She was the girl next door who was fun. Like everybody wanted to party with Cameron Diaz because she looked at you a certain way and smiled at you, felt like you were $1,000,000, but also you feel like you could go take her to In-N-Out and you guys will have you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with like Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz was 100% the girl next door, the tomboy, the person you could go take her to a monster truck. I could tell you exactly what their things. Sydney Sweeney hasn't found her thing yet. She thinks it's her being sexy because she came out with this. I don't know if you saw her lingerie line.
No.
She has a lingerie line
Okay, girl. Do you, boo?
that ironically women are protesting because it's all about smart marketing. She's coming out with a lingerie line because men like to see her. And so she thinks that men will like to see their women and think
The men might, but the women don't want to be seen in what they think with their men go.
and then on Valentine's Day, women were like, if my significant other buys me Sydney Sweeney's, I think it's called like Siren, I'm breaking up with him because clearly he doesn't know me. And so this her marketing team is failing her.
In more ways than
And
one.
honestly,
Marketing, PR. Is anybody on her team? Is
I don't
anyone on
know.
her side?
I mean, at the end of the day, they all still work for her, and maybe she is her worst enemy.
She knows best.
But the stupid thing is, you don't hire people because you know best. You hire people because they know better than you. I mean, you know where you want to go, but you hire people because they know better than you, and you want to reach the next level. Like when I get a team that's finally going to do stuff for me, unless it goes against my morality, I'm like, sure, you want me to do something crazy at Ulta? Got it. I invented crazy. Let's go do this. It'll be fun. But I don't know. I think that it was petty of Cameron Diaz because nobody was checking for her. I think the pettiest part is that I don't think there's a real actual comparison between the two.
This isn't like back in the day, like Cosmo magazines growing up when they used to like have the polls. This wasn't a Cosmo question. This just came out of her brain.
Yeah. And it wouldn't even be a Cosmo question. Sydney Sweeney is very sultry and she uses that part, and that was not really Cameron Diaz's vibe. So I think that it was just petty because I would have laughed at the comparison and be like, there isn't. Like, we're not even in the same category just because
Yeah.
we're white blondes with pretty eyes. Doesn't like stop typecasting us, doesn't make it the same category.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's my feeling about it. All right, we are getting out of all of our social stuff and hopping into you and your productivity coaching. So quick pause, because if you love dark stories that don't flinch, Olympic War isn't a soft love story. It's violent, it's chosen, and it costs everything. Through war, betrayal, and survival, Moonstone fights for devotion that refuses to die. This is a Black, multicultural dystopian series about power, sacrifice, and what rises from the ashes. Olympic War and Phoenix War. Read them wherever books are sold. Well, tell me, first of all, again, I think it's fantastic that you do both.
Thank you.
Goals. I think anyone who's listening to this podcast, this is like a perfect example of you don't have to like typecast, to use that word again. You don't have to typecast yourself in your own life. You can be multiple different people, and that's okay. In life, people always want us to be one person. And I'm like, but like on social media, they're like, what's your niche? Crazy. My niche is my life is chaotic and I should have a reality TV show. I hope that's a niche because I don't fit any other ones. But
That's it. It's a niche.
it's I think that there are a lot of women in life who think that just because they started in one direction, that that's the direction they have to stay in for forever. And the way that I see you taking, and a lot of people did this in 2020, is like taking like a retrospective of their life and be like, okay, this is cool, but what else do I want?
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. But tell me more about like how exactly does your like productivity coaching differ from other people's?
Because it's about you. No offense to anybody else, but it's about you. So many people, like even books that we read, they're telling you what they did and they're telling you to do it this way. But what if that way doesn't work for me?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to have something that's sustainable, something that's going to work for you. And I mean, realistically, it's technically a bad business model because, like, my goal is for my clients to never need me again. Like, unless you now have a different life situation and life circumstance, so that the plan that we created no longer works because your life has now changed. But we, society, we try to do what we see the next person do. There might be similarities to us, like, even if we look the Cameron and, Sweeney, like, even, like, there might be similarities, but they're not the same person, so to compare them,
Mm-hmm.
it's different, like, me and you might have similarities, but there's a lot about us that's different. So, you trying to do what I do, it's not gonna work for you, like, when people ask, like sometimes it often comes up, like, in conversations, like, I wake up at 2:30 in the morning, and people are like, "What? What?" And I'm like, "I'm never telling you to wake up at 2:30 in the morning. This
No,
is
like
what
I'm
works
not
for
telling you to
me."
do that at all. Yeah.
Right, and so you have to find what works for you, and so often, and nothing against group coaching, but with group coaching, for example,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to customize it to each one person because you have to give this general information, but in the nitty-gritty is where, for me, the transformation happens. And so I differ from other people because I care about you. Not that they don't care about you, but I literally care about what's going to work for you. If if that means waking up at 2:30 for it to work for you, okay. If that means you staying up till midnight, even though you gotta get up for work at 8 o'clock, we're gonna make that work for you. If
Mm-hmm.
that means, like, whatever that might look like. So I care about you finding what works for you. Looking back over your life to figure out what has worked in the past. Why did that stop working and what changed? How can we bring the parts that worked into this new version of you, and then the parts that didn't work, how can we tweak those and adjust those to figure out what needs to be changed so that it now works for you? So, I mean, my coaching's different because I'm
No,
different. So,
I think it's interesting because you said a bad business model, but that's the like business model of actual psychologists, right? Actual psychologists aren't trying to create this like cycle that you have to depend on them for the rest of their life. Their goal is that you become better and you leave, talk therapy.
yeah.
And their way that they work is, they have their specialties and people click with them sometimes and sometimes they don't, and they're okay with that because they know that they're working with that person and sometimes that person works perfectly with them and sometimes it doesn't. I think it's more geared towards actual productive work, thinking. personally, right? A lot of people, and again, first, I know I have a friend, he has a book out called A Pinch of Productivity, and it follows, like, the pinch model, and there are a lot of people who could find that, and it resonates with them, but there are also people who could find, like, I don't resonate with most of the, that, like, the first idea is that a CEO wakes up at 6 a.m., and I used to really follow that and be like, "Oh, okay, if I wanna be this way, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. and I have to do all these things," and I did, and I didn't hate it. Honestly, I really truly didn't hate it. But when I started leaving that atmosphere again, because that atmosphere wasn't for me, and I started working in the brewery, I had to change my lifestyle again. But I also realized that I personally don't understand why I would work during the day. I've sat down and I really thought about it honestly. Why, when the sun is out and it's beautiful and the birds are singing and it feels great outside, especially in the summertime, that everybody's calling my name and, I just want to be on the patio, have a why would I waste all that time when the sun is out and it's beautiful and everything like that working?
Right.
And it was a concept that I had, come to when I was working in the more like 9 to 5 sphere, especially in, you know, fall, winter time in Michigan, when I would leave and I would get home before the sun came, like I would get to work right when the sun was coming up for the most part. And then I would leave the office and the sun was coming down and I missed the entire day of sun.
Mm.
And I'm like, why? But that goes into what you're saying. Not everybody wants to come into work at 3, 4 o'clock like I do and leave my office at 10, 11, 12 at night. That's not for everybody.
No, because I hear wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm like, that's behind.
Yeah. But
Because like
I
for me,
mean,
like I have to leave my house at 7 to commute to work. So me waking up at
you like,
6 is now I'm rushing to get ready to like I work out in the morning. Where's my workout, shower, get ready for work time?
what are some of the things that you encounter when people kind of come to you that they like, because we're talking about working for productivity that is for them. What are some of the like stipulations or stigmas that people have that they've learned from other coaches or books or anything like that that you've worked with them to help them kind of find a better like happy medium for themselves?
Working late, bringing work home, like all this extra work. And it's different if you have a flex schedule that you've created versus I've worked an
Mhm.
8 to 5 or 9 to 5, and I'm still doing this additional stuff after,
Mhm.
bringing this additional stuff with me. Um, so a lot of it is like the working late, the bringing work home. It's they want work life balance, but they don't think it's possible because they want to do better at work. Not that they're doing bad, like, you're the go-to person at work, which means extra responsibility, so then now you're trying to balance and figure this out, and even in entrepreneurship, because what do they say about entrepreneurship? Like, you left a 9 to 5 to go work 24/7 for yourself. Like, I don't subscribe to that either, but given I love what I do and I respond at non-traditional hours because I'm working a business on part-time hours, so, like, you might get
Mhm.
an email from me at 2:30 in the morning, but that's because I'm
I love
awake,
that.
but
Email
that
me at 2:30 in the morning.
but th but that's what time I'm awake. Like, I'm
Mhm,
actually awake, this is my natural schedule, and
mhm,
so it's a lot of but they say or I thought fill in the blank of basically, I thought it had to be like this. They said I have to do this, you know, but you get to define what success looks like for you. They might say you have to work these extra hours in order to be partner, to, get this bonus. But if you like, I actually don't even want that, then it's like, okay, so why are you working these hours if you don't even want the thing that working these extra hours is gonna get you? And so I think it's redefining what's important to them or getting clear, not even necessarily redefining. I think they know what it like internally, you know it, but you never actually said it out loud. So it never clicked why this was or wasn't working for you. Like, why was I doing this for the things that you were doing that was beneficial? And for those things that weren't, like, why was I also doing that? So I think it's
mhm,
really getting to the root of what's important, why it's important, and what does that look like on the back end.
mhm. I I love that philosophy because I think that we don't. stop and examine our life enough.
Mhm.
I say that saying, like, we've been conditioned that we have to do these things a certain way, kind of what you were talking about, people like taking your work home. And I used to do that. And I mean, I still do sometimes, but also I'm running a business and I'm an author and I got a lot of stuff going on. So, but I make that decision that sometimes I just don't want to be in the office anymore and that I want to go home and watch TV and finish the little bit of work that I have. And that's okay with me because that's a decision that I've made and I know that I'm okay with it. Um,
But that's a
but
choice. Like, you made that choice of, like, especially if you're like, "I'm physically leaving the office at this time, though I theoretically should be here till this time." You just relocated where work was.
yeah. I know I currently have a struggle with work-life balance, but also my life is shit any oh my gosh, I don't like, first of all, I want this to be clear before anyone tries to check me back in. I love my life. I love living life. My life went to shit in the last 2 years, and I am actually really grateful for it because it let me focus, on this. Like, does it suck that most of my friends aren't my friends anymore? Sure. Sometimes. But did I actually realize that I don't really want to spend a lot of time with other people? Yeah. Like, maybe when my life goals are different, but right now what I want to do, I
Mhm.
have never focused on myself. Right? Right now I'm not dating for at least 3 years.
Okay.
I mean, I don't wanna put a time frame on it, but that's, like, the one I've been had in my head because could be sooner, could it be later, I don't know. But, like, for the foreseeable future, I have no intent on dating, like, I don't wanna do it. I really just wanna focus on myself, and that came from a lot of introspection. Like,
Mhm.
what is actually good for me, you know? If I'm dating, I have, like, a day off, sometimes no day offs, because I'm working and building a business and a brand, and I love what I do. Does it exhaust me? Absolutely. But I also know I'm playing a long game. Eventually, all of this stuff is going to be outsourced and my life is going to be way more freeing.
Mhm.
Um, but I've also, like really examined like what do I want? How do I want to get there? How much time do I want to invest in doing it? I've changed my job to get to this place.
Mhm.
I've sacrificed a lot. And I think that's another thing. Do you have this conversation a lot with like your clients about sacrifice?
Yeah, because it goes to the why and what's important. So, I'm not a hustle and grind person, but
Mhm.
I'm not anti-hard work. But with
Mhm.
that, I also know, like, for it sounds like for you, you're a late night person. Me trying to stay up till 10, 11 o'clock to work, pointless. I'm just moving papers around. I'm yawning the whole time. I'm physically, emotionally, mentally, in every which way clocked out. I don't do good at night. So, but if you were to tell me to wake up at 2:30 and get something done, say less. And so understanding ourselves and knowing ourselves. So
Mhm.
yes, it comes to having those conversations because what does success look like? What is satisfaction? What are you willing to work hard on? Because and I'm sure even though there are areas of your life that you're willing to work hard on, business, yourself, there are areas that you're not. Like you said, I'm not dating for X amount of time. So no intention of putting any effort over there. Like that has high. Thank you. Like it
Mhm.
there's nothing. Like it's almost like it's a boundary. It's almost like you've created these boundaries of this is what is important. So this is what gets my time, focus, and attention. This is not important. This is not a value for me right now.
Mhm.
This is not important. And so this gets nothing. And so that's kind of I think how the conversation kind of evolves and comes up.
Mhm. I agree. I think about that a lot, like, what really is important to me now, you know? And I have been for most of my life, I'm 34 years old. For most of my life, I've worked so that I could survive. I was kind of I turned 18 late, so my birthday's in December. So, like, I was in college at 17 having to figure it out, right? Because the college I went to, we didn't have, um, like, meal plans or things like
Hmm.
that. So I had to figure out my parents helped me, but also had to be like, "All right, fuck, I gotta figure out how to do this." And then when I dropped out of school because I got too depressed, um, I had to figure it out then. Like, all right, I got to live on my own. I got to find a job that's, going to support me. And I bounced around with that a lot. I mean, I still went in and out of college. And like I said, I've got my associates. But something just hit that was like, I want to follow my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do the things that I've been wanting to do my whole life while I was, in survival mode, while everybody else was getting to do those things. And so I think that's what, for me right now, I'm probably late to the game and I'm okay with that. That's where I'm at now. Um, what are other issues that you kind of see come up a lot or
Making themselves a priority, like actually doing that, not putting
Mhm.
themselves on the back burner. The thing that always falls off the counter that you'll do later is typically always something that involves you, but something
Yeah.
for anyone and everyone else gets the priority. So actually take a time to prioritize yourself. What do you like? What do you love? What do you want to do? What brings you joy? What stresses you out and you don't want to do? Like really
Mhm.
getting clear on that.
I'm gonna say I completely agree with that too, because I've struggled with that myself. I'm doing better. There's Writing is the only thing that I haven't really been making time for. Um, but I know that within myself that a lot of that has to do with just me having so much going on and the amount of work that I've been doing at my other job recently. And that when that, kilters off a little bit, then I can get back to it. But we definitely, I think women more than men,
Mm-hmm.
but still
100%.
as a group of people, we are stuck in this culture where it's about what are you giving your job? What are you giving your partner? What are you giving your kids? What are you giving all these other things? And there's not often a question about like, but what are you giving you?
Yeah, 100%.
And I
100%.
think that's something that's so important that we need to examine more. A lot of people don't really, and from what I've seen, like in my personal life, when you don't practice self care, you don't practice things in your life, you actually become more selfish and not less. Because then you hate everybody around you. You're so upset that why can't people see this and why can't people do this? And you become so angry and you're angry and you aren't even listening to other people anymore because you're just so overwhelmed and you haven't provided yourself that like space
Yeah.
to be. And I've seen some people go down like a really bad road kind of doing that. If I could, I'd send them your way.
Please do.
I
Please
will,
do.
as many people as I can find, I'm gonna be like, do this. I think creating a program that's for everybody else. Like when I went through my holistic life coaching course, that was one of the things. Like you cannot make a program that's based on what one size fit all kind of thing.
Mhm.
How different do you think like people's wants and needs and just basic like morning routines have you seen it vary? Like or do you have a lot of people who are morning people or a lot of more night people?
Think I'm trying to see if I can, like, quantify it. Most people that I've worked with still work 9 to 5s, whether that
Mhm.
be they are the business owner, like,
Mhm.
I own the law firm, but nonetheless, court hours are these hours, so kinda
Like this is my choice. I got to stick to this.
right. Um, People who are, like attorneys have been, like, my thing, and maybe it's because I am an attorney, like, so working with a lot of, like, attorneys, or in the legal profession.
Mhm.
So but I've also but even outside of that, most people have still worked like 9 to 5, 8 to 5s, and so they might be a night person, so they have this business that they're building outside of it or in addition, to it, but they still have this 9 to 5. So it's kind of a mi I would guess we could almost say, 50/50, maybe even 75, I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that a lot of the people that you work with are attorneys because in that field, from what I've gathered, a lot of people don't have, I don't want to say it together, but it's a crazy like work, 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 no life balance in that industry, you know? And I get it because a lot is demanded of lawyers. There's a reason, guys, that they gotta go to a lot of school to get there.
Yeah.
A lot is demanded of lawyers, but everything that I've ever seen, and, this is obviously mostly depicted on TV shows and movies and everything like that, is just the going back to even, like, Sex in the City,
Mhm.
which I love. Miranda was a lawyer, and she did not, I mean, she probably had more of a work-life balance than other people saw because she was out there drinking midday with her 3 besties, but a lot of what you see is a lack of that.
Mhm.
Is that something that you kinda work a lot with them to, like, saying no at work is hard.
Yeah, but even sometimes it's not even necessarily the saying no, it's the delegation. Like, you have the help, use the help, or how can you best use the help, or how can I best, like, structure my calendars, like, my assistants know, like, don't set stuff after this time. Make sure you include the travel time when you're putting something on my calendar so that when it's going off, I'm not already late because I gotta drop everything and run or things are overlapping. So sometimes it's really just the time management piece of like, how are you actually structuring your day, i.e., via your calendar?
Mhm. Creating, like, rules, boundaries, and structures for you.
Mhm.
I love the part you said about delegation. I think that high functioning people have a fear of delegation.
Mhm.
I am one of them.
Yeah, no one can do it
I
better
was
than me.
also Hmm?
No one can do it better than me. Like, why would I wait for them to do it when I can just do it myself, or they're not gonna do it the right way, and then I have to fix it and change it and all the other things as well.
Yeah, but I think it's also so important, trust is something that's hard for all of us,
Mhm.
especially trust in the business sphere because it impacts our, like,
Mhm.
life. Like, trusting a friend, if they hurt us, but it doesn't have any, like, financial repercussions. Usually it doesn't affect my house, my car,
Mhm.
any of those things. Trusting someone in business affects all of those things potentially.
Mhm.
And I think that that is, something that we are fearful of. But I also think that as women, specifically Black women, we have a fear that if we delegate, if we give it off, somebody will think that we aren't as competent. have that fear.
For me,
If
it's more
I'm,
the if I delegate it and they do it wrong, it's still gonna come back on me. So as a
that's,
result, maybe that's where the I
yeah,
don't feel as confident part comes in.
I just, and that maybe I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, I feel like some of my legitimacy comes in the fact that I'm doing all of it myself.
Yeah.
And
You're handling it well, you're holding it well. Like, that's
and
the
I don't
whole
wanna be like that.
yeah.
No. I wanna, first of all, guys, I'm building this life so that eventually I can record a podcast 2, 3 days out the week, sit on a beach, write books, and sip margaritas and wine all day. Like, I just wanna be clear. I'm doing all of this craziness because I actually value time reading books and time by myself and time relaxing more than anything in the world. I mean, I'm always gonna be a workaholic a little bit, I think. But I don't want to be like, that's not, I'm doing all this because eventually I do want to give it up, but it is still hard.
Yeah.
But so I guess my next question, one of the last questions we have is, there are obviously a lot of people who are going to be listening to this that aren't your clients and that don't know exactly what they kind of need or want yet. So what would you say to the people listening about, anything, advice, where you think you see a lot of people are lacking or they need, like, more, structure and motivation in their life?
Reach out to me, but for real, get it out of your head and get on the paper. Like, find a place to start. Just choose one thing and start. You can't do all the things at the same time, so just choose one thing and start there. Like, all the
Mhm.
things that are floating around in your head, spend some time getting them out of your head, getting them on the paper so you can physically look at what it is that you're doing, trying to do, want to do all the things, and choose one and start.
I have been doing that recently because I have a crap ton of ideas that float into my head all the time. And I used to be like, recently I've had to, talking about how you work with your clients, I've had to re-examine one of my businesses and be like, I actually need to press pause on this because I can't keep pushing myself in all these directions. I kind of have to be, I can't do it all, right? And I have started writing things down. and then really examining like, what will it take for me to get to this? Like, how does this benefit me? Is it going to cost a lot more work? Is it just an idea that I have that I think will be cool? And then sometimes when I break down the ideas, I'm like, this would be so cool, but I don't think it's actually feasible.
Yeah.
And then I can go on to the next idea. I'm like, oh, actually, this one is more workable, you know?
Hmm.
So I love the advice of writing things. I think writing, I'm a journal person now. That's my hobby now. That's just for me. I'm not trying to monetize it. I'm not trying to do anything. Um, but writing things down, I think, is super imperative to like a better life. Are
Yeah.
you a journal person? Do you write all your things down?
I'm a brain dump to-do list person. Some
Hmm.
journaling as well too, though.
I love brain dumping. I need to. Someone said they brain dump every night.
Yeah, I tell people to do it at least once a week. In the beginning, when you're getting new to it, you might need to do it daily, but I'm to the point that I can just do it once a week because I kind of keep a running list as things come up. But if like a big project comes up or there's a sudden pivot or change, and I'm like, oh, starting to get overwhelmed, brain dump time.
I think I'm actually getting ready, like when I get off of this, to do a brain dump because I have a lot of stuff I need to do.
Yeah,
And I kind of want to just get them all out of my brain and organize it and be like, how many things can I actually do today
yeah,
before I get tired?
yeah. I didn't get to finish my weekend brain dump before because normally I do it on Friday. I didn't get to do it, and then I've tried to do it this morning, but then I had my niece's volleyball game, so all the things it's like just yeah,
Okay, I have one last question because I'm still fascinated about this. You wake up at 2:30. What time do you go to bed?
5. I'm
Okay.
off the I say 8:30, but really it's 8:25, my wind down alarm goes off, and I try to be in bed by 8:45 and completely 100% off my phone. Like, 8:45, I'm off of social media, then, like, I'll lay in the bed and maybe, like, play a puzzle game on my phone, but by
Hmm.
9:15, I'm 100% off of my phone, and it takes me
Hmm.
5, 10 minutes to fall asleep.
How did you come upon 2:30 as a wake up time?
It happened on accident. A friend was doing like a fast with her church or something, and they were doing prayer at 2:30, and
Hmm.
so I started waking up at like 2:28 to like just roll over and like log into the call, and then I think at that time I was either waking up at 3:30 or 4, but when I did it for that week, it didn't feel different than my current wake up time, so I was like, "Okay, well, after this is done, let me just keep trying it
Hmm.
and see what I can get accomplished." And I had started my business at that point, and so I was
Hmm.
already starting to think about, like, with having started the business in the pandemic, what is this gonna look like when I actually have to go to work? Get back into that aspect of the normal routine because I didn't completely give it up for the pandemic. I still kept waking up early and things like that. And
Hmm.
so that was kind of where my business hours, so to speak, came into play. Like have the time to get up and work my business before going to work. Because if I'm doing coaching calls after work, when do I do the back end, the other stuff for the business?
Hmm. I love it. It's so non-conventional. And like other people would be like, oh, that's so crazy. Like most of us are asleep, but it
Just
goes
bother but
into,
also
it's a perfect
bother me.
like example of who you are and what you're trying to represent of like, this is what works for me.
Mhm.
And this is how it's beneficial for me. And I can help you find what is going to be beneficial for you. You don't have to be me. I'm just trying to help you find what works for you because I'm not trying to be anyone else either.
Yes.
I love that. All right. Before we get out of here, please let everybody know where they can follow you, go look you up, support you, book a coaching session, or what's the thing that they call now where you like talk to people first?
I call mine a personalized productivity audit, but like your consult call.
Consult, yeah. So let everybody know where they can get all that stuff from you.
You can find me everywhere at legally.me, LEGALLEE.me. That's my website. That's my social media handles. Yeah, you can book a free personalized productivity audit, especially a 20-minute call, and basically you literally audit your time. Where's it going? Where do you want to go? How can we best fix it? And what would it look like for us to work together to do that?
Cool, perfect. Last question. Where do you see yourself growing in this in the next couple of years? Where do you want to go?
On more stages, speaking, getting the message out. My ultimate goal is impact, and the only way to make impact is to touch the lives of people. And I know that I can't do it on my own, so
I
I need
love that.
others to help spread the word, i.e., whether that's being on a bigger platform or bigger stages and more opportunities for it to go out, but also the more people I tell about it, something's going to stick from them, and then they're going to pass it on to a friend when they hear a friend struggling. Not necessarily the, hey, go work with Coach Lee part of
Mhm.
it, but the, hey, have you ever tried X? And then they try that thing and that thing works for them.
Well, I sincerely hope that people watch this and they watch you and they're like, we need to get her on our stage ASAP.
Yes, please.
I will also say this is just, I used to be a part of the young professionals group in credit unions.
Mm-hmm.
Credit unions are always looking for speakers on all different types of aspects.
Okay.
And they need productivity coaching.
I will have to look into that. I might have to talk to you more about
That's my
figuring that out. So I appreciate that.
no problem. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Coach Lee, thank you so much for wanting to be a part of my podcast. I enjoyed having you.
Thank you for having me and all the elements and all the things.
Okay. All right. Well, we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Gabby Gabs Podcast.